Anyone's tuning in online nowadays?
Usual suspects. You're good to go.
Some of your people that you're researching? Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Because Sunday one place Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Yashodanandana Rajajanagramijana Yashodanandana Rajajanaranjana Tira Yamatira Radha Baba Kunjabihari Radha Jai Radha Madhava Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya Rayanam Namaskritya Naram Shaivam Narotamam Devam Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nasupraya Shurabhadrishu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Yaswanubhava Makila Shruti Saramekam Radyatman Deepam Matiti Shatantam Anindam Samsarinam Karunayaha Purana Gurim Tanvyasa Sundam Bhajami Gurun. Okay, today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 3, text number 23. And it's my great honor to be back at ISV with all of you. Hare Krishna. Jivan Chavo Bhagavarangri Renam Na Jatu Martyo Bilapeta Yastu Shri Vishnu Padya Manusya Tulasya Shashvan Chabo Yes Tu Na Veda Gandam Jivan Chavo Bhagavatam Grivenum Najatu Martyo Dilapeta Yastu Shri Vishnupadya Manusya Tulasya Swasam Chavo Yastu Naveda Gandham Jivan Chavo Bhagavatam Rirenam Jatumardyo Vidapeta Yastu Shri Vishnupadya Manujastulasya Shasvan Shavo Yastu Naveda Gandham. Could I get a Bhagavad Gita? Jivan while living. Chavo Swava, a dead body. Bhagavan Virenum, the dust of the dust of the feet of a pure devotee. Na, never. Jatu, at any time. Martya, mortal. Abhileta, particularly received. Ya, a person. To, but. Shri, with opulence. Vishnupadya, Manuja, a descendant of Manu, a man. Tulasya, leaves of the Tulasi tree. Shwasan, while breathing. Swava, still a dead body. Ya, who? To, but. Naveda, never experience. Gandham, the aroma. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The person who has not at any time received the dust of the feet of the Lord's pure devotee upon his head is certainly a dead body. And the person who has never experienced the aroma of the tulsi leaves from the lotus feet of the Lord is also a dead body, although breathing. Purport. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the breathing dead body is a ghost. When a man dies, he is called dead. But when he again appears in a subtle form not visible to our present vision and yet acts, such a dead body is called a ghost. Ghosts are always very bad elements, always creating a fearful situation for others. Similarly, the ghost-like non-devotees who have no respect for the pure devotees, nor the Vishnu deity in the temples, create a fearful situation for the devotees at all times. The Lord never accepts any offering by such impure ghosts. There is a common saying that one should first love the dog of the beloved before one shows any loving sentiments for the beloved. The stage of pure devotion is attained by sincerely serving a pure devotee of the Lord. The first condition of devotional service to the Lord is therefore to be a servant of the pure devotee. And this condition is fulfilled by the statement, reception of the dust of the lotus feet of a pure devotee who has also served another pure devotee. That is the way of pure disciplic succession, or devotional parampara. Maharaj Rahugana inquired from the great saint Jadad Bharat as to how he had attained such a liberated stage of a Paramahamsa. In answer, the great saint replied as follows. Rahugana tapasana yati nacheyaya nirbapana grihava nachanda samnaiva jalangi sudar binamahat para rajobi shakam. O King Rahugana, the perfectional stage of devotional service, or the Paramahamsa stage of life, cannot be attained unless one is blessed by the dust of the feet of the great devotees. It is never attained by tapasya, the Vedic worshipping process, acceptance of the renounced order of life, the discharge of the duties of householder life, the chanting of the Vedic hymns, or the performance of penance in the hot sun, within cold water, or before the blazing fire. In other words, Lord Sri Krishna is the property of his pure unalloyed devotees, his pure unconditional devotees. And as such, only the devotees can deliver Krishna to another devotee. Krishna is never obtainable directly. Lord Chaitanya therefore designated himself as Gopi Bhartupada or Dasa Dasa Anudas, or the most obedient servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord, who maintains the Gopi damsel of Vrindavan. A pure devotee therefore never approaches the Lord directly, but tries to please the servant of the Lord's servants, and thus the Lord becomes pleased. And then, and only then, can the devotees relish the taste of the tulsi leaves stuck to his lotus feet. In the Brahma Samhita, it is said that the Lord is never to be found by becoming a great scholar of the Vedic literature, but he is very easily approachable through his pure devotees. In Vrindavan, all the pure devotees pray for the mercy of Srimati Radharani, the pleasure potency of Lord Krishna. Srimati Radharani is a tender-hearted feminine counterpart of the Supreme Whole, resembling the perfectional stage of the worldly feminine nature. Therefore, the mercy of Radharani is available very readily to the sincere devotees. And once she recommends such a devotee to Lord Krishna, the Lord at once accepts the devotee's admittance into his association. The conclusion, therefore, is that one should be more serious about seeking the mercy of the devotee than that of the Lord directly. And by one's doing so, by the goodwill of the devotee, the natural attraction for the service of the Lord will be revived. Om Jnana Timidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Vinitamena Tasmai Gurave Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Shri Radhikaya Dadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamani Naste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Shani Vishesha Shri Varakashtati Vishtari Namo Mahavadannaya Krishna Prabhupada Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Nigavase Namaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sade Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Rigatpate Gopishva Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Nama Om Vishnubadaya Krishna Vishnaya Budale Srimati Vaisheshira Sarikari Tinamani Prasha Srilaya Prabhupada Vashani Antarite Videtasana Shastravadinacharya Nama Om Vishnu Vancha Kalpatarundascha Kripasindhya Evacha Patitam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Asari Gaura Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Premanara Taropitam Sakan Rupam Bhaktaganam Rupam Mesha Rasas Krishna Prema Palapatam Ye Mahanta Kilaham Saputa Jagat Praviti Karamartha Argata Tete Taru Chistani Seva Nome Katun Vishudam Rashanam Javina. This is a very famous verse, so we're very fortunate to be reading it. I was thinking of this verse from Bhagavad Gita as we were going through it, this Mogasya Moga Karma no Moga Jnana Vichetasa. I'm forgetting the last line, but I have it here. Moga Jnana Vichetasa Rakshashim Asurim Shaiva Prakritin Mohinim Shrita. So the translation is that those who are bewildered are attracted by demoniac and atheistic views, and in that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruit of activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. So, what is being spoken about here and what's being spoken about in the Bhagavad Gita is this concept of jivan, while living. What should one be doing while they're living? Practically the whole Srimad Bhagavatam is teaching us the process how to live eternally, because primary obstacle which is placed before the living entity in the material world is Janma Mrityu Jaravadi Dukkha Dosha Vidarshana. It's the cycle of birth and death. Birth, death, old age, and disease. Although practically all the supplies of the material energy are engaged and utilized by ourselves for the purpose of forgetting the fact that we're ultimately going to leave this body, we have to somehow develop the courage and the determination to overcome this mogasya moga karmano, this bewildered state of consciousness, which has its roots in asurim, rakshashim asurim shaiva, this disposition of asura. So asura is a very interesting word. If you break down the etymology of it, it literally means they whose life energy is spent for maintaining the material body. So why is the Bhagavatam saying Najatu Martyo Vilayityastu, that although living, they're practically sastva, a dead body. Because if one's life air, which is calculated by the Bhagavatam to be a particular number of breaths. Yesterday, I was speaking with Brajaras Bhavanam. You've met Brajaras Bhavanam before? A super intelligent person. So he was telling me yesterday that in science, they've calculated that most animals, they have like 1 billion something heartbeats. It's like in the billion number range of most species of life. And you'll see like a squirrel, they have a shorter lifespan than, let's say, a human or like an elephant. And it's because their heartbeat is super quick. But everyone is allotted a particular amount of time in order to live. But if one's breath is simply maintained for the purpose of maintaining a body which is ultimately going to die, then what is the value of your living? What is the value of you living in this body to begin with? What's the value of you walking through this world? And if you are walking through this world simply for the purpose of maintaining the material body and organizing material for the comfort of that body, Matirna Krishna Pratasvatova Mitopi Padyeta Grihat Kritanam Adanta Gopir Vishatam Tamishram Punas Charvata Charvana. Then in that state, it's very difficult for you to receive instructions because you're simply trying to chase after something which has already been achieved, which is the pleasure of existing in a body. And actually, how much pleasure is there if it really comes down to it? It's just, practically speaking, everything which you do in relationship to this body, there has to be a reaction. Like for instance, you could work super hard, and then after working hard, you need to take rest. And after taking rest, you sleep too long, and so you wake up and you feel tired again. And then in order to overcome your feeling tired again, you have to go on a walk, you have to exercise, you have to eat properly. And then after you eat properly and you exercise, you have to use the bathroom. And if you're a cultured person, after you use the bathroom, you have to take a bath. So everything in relationship to the body is just functioning on this plane of karma. So karma, the word karma, there's action and reaction is contained within the same word. So everything on the platform of the body, there's always going to be a reaction for it. And because you're so entangled in this life of reactions, it's very difficult to receive spiritual instruction. So the Bhagavatam is saying, what is the value of such a life? Ayur harati vaipumsan udyan yaschantu yanaso tasyarte akshino nitya uttama shloka vartaya. For every person in this world, as long as their life air is not being ayur harati vaipumsan, as long as that life air, that ayur, the lifespan is not being utilized for the purpose of realizing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then their entire life is just counting down until that 1 billion heartbeat stops, and then you're gone, and then you're on to the next body. So the Bhagavatam is bringing us to the awareness that now is your opportunity. Now, after so many lives of living in this ghostly existence of material life, of existing as a squirrel, as existing as an elephant, as existing as a cockroach, as existing as a bed bug, as existing in so many different species of life, now you finally have the opportunity. Now you finally get this opportunity to be able to come to the awareness of what is the actual value. So the Bhagavatam is saying, this is where your attention needs to be directed. And the whole Bhagavatam is just pressing on this point over and over and over again. It doesn't dharma prochitakaitavota paramon matsaramam satam. For those who are not envious, they will very deeply appreciate this message. But for someone who is still trying to squeeze out punas charvata charvanam, for those who are still trying to squeeze something out of this material body, the Bhagavatam will be completely repulsive. They'll want nothing to do with it, because it's pointing to the fact that there's nothing in it within this material body. You're going to get nothing out of it. So where does one's attention need to be directed if they're living? Labvasa durlaba idam bahusam bhavante manusyam arthadam anityam api adira. Turnamyata anapata anamrityam yasheshaya avisadakal tavatavatasya. Labvasa durlaba idam bahusam bhavante. That this human form of life, sudurlaba, it's extremely rare. It's extremely rare. And now you've come to the human form of life. So what do? Labvasa durlaba idam bahusam bhavante. Manusyam arthadam, the human form of life, is trying to offer you the greatest treasure. It's trying to offer you the most profound treasure which you can possibly imagine. And what is that treasure which one should seek after? That's being spoken about here. Rahuganaita tapasana yati nacheya nirva panakrihata nachandasam naiva jalangi sura maha vinamaha padarajodi sheka. That you have to seek out the association of advanced devotees, devotees who are more advanced than ourselves. Why do we have to seek out the association of advanced devotees? Mahatmanas tu mam partha daivim prakritim ashrita. Bhajantya anya manaso. What's that? Oh, gyatva bhutpadam adayam. That you have to seek out this association now. And not only do you have to seek it out, the Bhagavatam is saying, Manusyam arthadam anityam apihadira. Before this body drops dead, you have to seek it out. When? Turnam yatet anapatet anamritayavam. As soon as you possibly can. You have to become completely eager for this kind of association. What kind of association? The type of association which can instill in you the pure devotional sentiments which are flowing from the Guru Parampara, which are flowing from the conclusions of the Bhagavad Parampara. So what are those conclusions of the Bhagavad Parampara? It's being spoken about here. Gopi Vartu Padakamalaya, Dasa Dasa Anudasa. That the greatest attainment which one can achieve, the greatest wealth which one can strive after, is the wealth of being situated in the consciousness of being exclusively a servant. Which means that the bewilderment, mogasya moga karmana, the bewilderment of functioning in the asura disposition, of functioning, utilizing all of your time and energy simply for the maintenance of your body, where everything is janasya mohoya maham mameti, everything is fixed on me, everything is fixed on I and mine. You have to pull yourself out of that consciousness through Vinamahat Pada Rajobhishekam. And the consciousness which you'll then be situated in is Gopi Bhartu Parakamaloyar Das Anudasa. You can see that this is the whole function of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and this is the specific mood which has been being offered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anarapita Chirim Chira Karuna Avitirna Kalo. This type of consciousness, this deep feeling of what is it called when one is self-abnegation. This deep sense of self-abnegation has not been given for a long time. Mahaprabhu is coming. Anarpita Charim Chira. This type of consciousness has not been given for a very, very long time. Anarpita Charim Chira Karuna Avitirna Kalo Samarpayitam Unanta Jwala Rasam. What Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving is Unanta Jwala Rasam. And that's what Prabhupada is pointing to here. He's saying that in Vrindavan, all pure devotees pray for the mercy of Srimati Radharani, the pleasure potency of Lord Krishna. And who is this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Radha Krishna Pranay Vrikatir Ladini Shaktir Asma Ekam Atma Bhuvi Purada Deham Betam Gatoto Chaitam Akyam Prakritam Aruna Tatdvayam Shaikyamatam Radha Bhava Duty Sualitam Nomi Krishna Swarupam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, Krishna Swarupam. With what? Radha Bhava Duty. He is carrying the mood and the complexion of Srimati Radharani. So this mood of self-abnegation, it has its roots in the loving sentiments of which Srimati Radharani has for Krishna. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's explained that Krishna is so enchanted by the love of Srimati Radharani, the self-abnegating mood of Srimati Radharani, that he himself wants to come and taste that love. He himself wants to come and relish that love. And furthermore, Anarpita Charim Chirat Karuna Avitirnakulo. He wants to distribute that loving sentiment to the entire world. So he is hankering for that love, he is desiring that love, and he is experiencing that love, and simultaneously being so intoxicated with this love. Rupa Goswami is saying that let this Sada Hridaya Kandare Spurito Na Sachinandanaha, Spurito Va Sachinandanaha. Let this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu be situated within the inner core of your heart. So Rupa Goswami is blessing the world. He's saying, let this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's carrying the deepest sentiments of self-abnegation, be situated within the core of your heart. And furthermore, allow those sentiments to overwhelm you. So as one is walking the path of Krishna consciousness, one should be able to measure what is their progress in Krishna consciousness based on how they assimilated the mood of service of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which he is carrying, which is practically the mood of service of Srimati Radharani, the self-abnegating desire to want to serve Krishna. And how does this mood of service practically manifest for us in our life? Well, it's coming in the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because as he's relishing, he's simultaneously distributing. He's simultaneously giving it out to the entire world. And so in the Bhagavatam, we get a clear indication that the mood of service of Vrindavan is not to hide away, Nirjana Bhajan, although there's a place for that. But the standard of consciousness which is existing in someone who is qualified for such a service is that as they're sitting in a tiny room in Vrindavan, the power of their chanting is filled with so much depth that is the highest compassion which they can show for the entire world. But for the general masses of people, How is this mood of service practically conducted? How is it exemplified? We can understand the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and we can understand the mood of Srimati Radharani by studying the life of our acharyas, specifically the life of Srila Prabhupada, who showed Tapyanti lokatapena sadhavo prayashojanam paramaradhanam tadi purishaisakilatma. Paramaradhanam, the highest way to worship Krishna, the highest expression of self-abnegation is to go out and give this message of Srimad Bhagavatam to those people who are living sabha, who are living like ghosts, to try to wake them up from their slumber. Jeev Jago, Gaura Chandra Bole. Go and show them these conclusions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Try to attract them. And most importantly, give them awareness of the potency which is coming in the holy names of Krishna. So after we've sought out advanced association and we receive that association, one thing which we can analyze for ourselves. I was reading the Black Lotus book. You've read that before, I imagine. The biography of Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. So I was reading that, the last chapter to Madhavendra Puri Prabhu. And apparently Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj in his final days was praying in the mood of Vasudeva. He was praying that allow all the suffering which is holding people back in their Krishna consciousness due to the mistakes which leaders had made and then had thus halted people's progress in Krishna consciousness. Allow all the karma of that to fall on my head. He was praying. You can watch this video online where it's called the ultimate prayer. You type in Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj and the ultimate prayer, and he's praying whatever needs to be taken away for us to help us become perfect servants of Srila Prabhupada, let it be taken away. And he's speaking very furiously. 10 days later, he was diagnosed with melanoma cancer. And it was life-threatening. The last class, the last official class which he gave in Gita Nagari, he asked the devotees this question which he had been asking himself and asking his disciples for a long time. He asked, how many of you suffered before? And everyone rose their hand. Everyone, how many of you have suffered and thought, why me? Everyone rose their hand. How many of you have seen others suffering and thought, glad it's not me? And then the final question he asked, how many of you have seen others suffering and said to yourself, why them, why not me? So this is the mood which he was carrying, and actually this is the mood of the Guru Parampara. Why do other people have to suffer? Naivodvide paraturata yavaitaranyas twadvirya gaya maha amrita magna chitta so chetato vimutta chetas indriyartha maya sukaya baram udvahato vimutam. As far as we're concerned, due to the lifestyle of Krishna consciousness, we're completely peaceful. We have ashrams which are sanctified by the mode of goodness and brought to the level of Shuddha through the process of hearing and chanting. We have nice Krishna Prasadam. We have an international institution which practically we can go anywhere in the world and have a place to stay, right, Vijay Prabhu? If anyone knows, it's going to be Vijay Prabhu. You can go anywhere in the world and you have a place to stay. So what should be our only thought? Why do other people have to suffer? Why am I given such? Why am I so special? What makes me so great? I'm just another person who got one of Srila Prabhupada's books. So we should think, I should go out and do something. I should go out and give them an opportunity. I should take on some tapyanti lokatapena. I should take on some voluntary inconvenience for the purpose of allowing people to come to a higher consciousness. So if you want to become interested in the moods of Vrindavan, if you want to become interested in the gift of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the cultivation of this unalloyed, self-abnegating mood of service has to be born within our heart, and that mood is born through Vinamaha Para Rajobhishekam, the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees, the association and the instructions which are given by devotees is the only thing which can give us this life of this self-abnegating mood of service. which allows us to go beyond all considerations of the comfort of the material body and exist exclusively for the purpose of giving pleasure to Krishna and showing compassion to the living entities. Hare Krishna. So I'm intentionally stopping 10 minutes before so we can have discussion if anyone's interested in having a conversation about what I spoke about. Reflections or questions? Yes, Prabhu.
I have a question. Thank you for the heartfelt class. Very nice. Couple of thoughts. You mentioned in your class, and Srila Prabhupada mentioned in his purport, the importance of seeking out pure devotees. I think yesterday in passing, as Balaram was leaving, he's mentioning, we're talking about books as we usually do. And he said, oh yeah, Indian Sword was not so good. Yesterday, the Indians, maybe they're afraid of us. They see two really tall white guys in saffron robes and they just kind of scurry along and ignore us. And it's difficult for the conditioned soul to spot a pure devotee. You mentioned class, it's important to seek out those more advanced and to take shelter of them, but these people are so conditioned they can't recognize. Similarly, it was mentioned Judge Bharat was teaching Bhagavatam, and I was thinking about that pastime. Judge Bharat had that experience with the dacoits. The dacoits took that pure devotee Judge Bharat and they tried to kill him for some kind of material benefit. Maybe it's wealth, a nice wife, whatever it was. They tried to sacrifice him to the goddess Durga. And then King Rahugana similarly was using Judge Bharat as his palanquin carrier. But the difference is that Rahugana sobered up really quickly because he was able to spot the pure devotee by listening to him. So that's listening is one way to spot a Vaishnava. I was reading in the Nectar of Instruction, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu further echoes this point about the importance of listening. He says, if one hears a person say the word Krishna even once, that person should be accepted as the best man out of the common group. This is from Chaitanya Madhya Leela 15:106. And then Lord Chaitanya goes on further to say that one who is interested in chanting the holy name of Krishna, or who by practice likes to chant Krishna's names, should be accepted as a Vaishnava and offered respects as such, at least within one's mind. These are pure my thoughts about how to spot a pure devotee and signs of a pure devotee.
Thank you. Very nice. Balaram, any questions on this? Oh, Subarna Vinipura, something.
So it looks like this as you mentioned, is that would be like last verse of Shikshas.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter the Krishna blessing it's his presence or the last from Krishna consciousness. I'll just remain a humble son. I mean, obviously that Anshinadir and the Ranis have that's one thing. But then how does it reflect in the life of practitioner? This, practice that.
Trying to think of some verses to speak on this. There is a verse by Richasura. Uttama shloka janai susakyam samsara chakre damatasva sukarmabi. Tamaya atma agrihesu asakta chintasa yanata bhuya. Actually, all of his prayers are really incredible. This is the last of them. There's 4 prayers, but what he's saying is, actually, I'll just go through all 4 of the prayers. First one, he begins, Aham Hare Tavat Par Ekamula. Aham Hare Tavat Par Ekamula. Dasanu Daso Bhavatasasmi Bhuya. Manasmarer Tasyu Patergunam Ste Grinitavat Karma Karota Hakaya. He's saying, Aham Hare Tavat Par Ekamula. When will that day come when I can be engaged in the service of your lotus feet under the guidance of Dasanu Daso Bhavatasasmi Buddha? That under the guidance of your devotee's devotee. Manasmayer tasyu, allow my mind to remember you. Pater gunamste, granita va karma karotukaya. Allow me to glorify your qualities with my voice, engage my mind in remembering you, and in my body, my body engaging in your work. So that's the first prayer which Richasura offers. The next one is Nanaka Krishnam na Chaparamishtam na Sarva Bhauman na Rasadi Pakyam na Yoga Siddhira Purnamba Bamba Samaja Sattva Virahaya Kakshi. He's saying that many people, Nanaka Krishnam na Chaparamishtam, so many people in this world are going to ask you to be the controller, or to have a planet like Dhruva Maharaj, or to acquire some mystic city. But as far as I'm concerned, don't give me any of that. Samaja Sattva Virahaya Kakshe. I exclusively want to be your servant. So any prompting which is being given by Krishna, it's being rejected. It's like if you read in the Brihat Bhagavatam, when Gopakumar is entering into Mahakalapura, he meets Maya Devi and she's worshipping Mohini Murti. And she actually offers him so many things. Why don't you stick around a little bit longer? But he's so determined to meet the Lord that he just, she grants, she's practically ready to give him anything he wants. And it's just a couple of verses, but he just walks right by it. So the devotee feels the Naka Prishtam na Chapadamishtam. I don't want any consideration of personal comfort, personal convenience in order to be engaged in your service. I only want your service. And how desperately do I want that service? Ajata Paksha Ibunataram Kaga Stanamyata Vatsaram Sot Artha Priyam Priyavam Vyasitam Visanam Manoravindaksha Didriksha Tetvam. Ajata Paksha Ibunataram Kaga. Just as a bird is constantly waiting, a baby bird is constantly waiting for its mother to come home and feed it. Just as a calf, is always eager to get the milk of its mother. I remember I was in Govardhan once and they had this little baby calf there named Purnima. And I remember the cowherd came and he accidentally let her go and he lost control of the rope. And as soon as that rope was dropped, he went running to his mother and he immediately started drinking her milk. That was the only thing he wanted to do. And she was eager for it and he was eager for it. He immediately just went straight to the mother. And then Priyam Priyeva Vyositam Visanam Naroravindakshati Dikshatetam. That just as a lover is always eager, a newly married girl is always thinking, when is my beloved going to come home? In the same way, the devotee is hankering for the Lord in that way. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, actually, this verse should be contemplated while chanting japa. This eagerness should be chanted while we're chanting. And then, Amutama shloka janesu sakyam samsara chakre brahmatasasva karmavi tvamaya atma dharagagrihesu asakta chintasi anapapuya. And if you're concerned if I have any material attachments left, my dear Lord, just cut it away. I want you exclusively. So I would say that the prayers of the Bhagavatam, and there's so many throughout, I would say the prayers of the Bhagavatam, they highlight how we can absorb this self-abnegating mood of service. And if you study the Bhagavatam, and then if you study, more esoteric books like the prayers of the Goswamis, you'll see there's so many parallels actually between the mood of service which they have and the mood of service which is existing in the Bhagavatam. It's just becoming more specified. But if that specificity isn't there, one can at least be endeavoring for the general quality of self-abnegation. And then Atashri Krishna Namadi Nabhavetgram Indriya Sevan Mukhi Jivadal Swayameva Spratadal. Through that sincere mood of service, the specificity will awaken. And the prayers of the Goswamis will become potentially more relevant within the life of a sadhaka. And the prayers of the Goswamis, they reflect the mood of Srimati Radharani most closely. Is that okay?
Just I remember, I think it's workshop that teaching. People would come with offerings,
Uh-huh.
and he would throw stones at them.
Get out of
So
here.
you could say this what is it? What kind of lifestyle is this? But I think it's more because he was in that mood, So we detached. Yeah. So these spies, I can imagine these spies in the vision, bringing kids, and he can just throw stones at them. So they will just go away.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything which obstructs that mood, they just. Krishnadas Babaji, Srila Prabhupada's godbrother, I'll just tell one story real quick, and then I'll finish. He was offered a piece of land in Vrindavan, and actually he acquired all the materials in order to build like a small kutir for himself, and then he had all the bricks and cement on the land, and then the brother of the person who donated the land came and said, actually, you made a mistake. This is actually my land. And Krishnadas Babaji said, just forget it. And he just walked off. And he said, what about all the cement and bricks? He said, you just keep it. Just continued on. Because they don't want to be compromised by circumstances. I think that parallels what you're saying. Is that okay? Balaram, anything? I think we're coming to an end soon, right?
Yeah, I was just appreciating this. When I found the verse, like 12 verses is basically the same like last two
Yeah.
lines, I think too. And Shukira Goswami in 6 canto, just there's one verse. He also says 6:1:16. Natata Yagavan Radhan Puyeta Tava Adi Gini. Yeah, he says that my dear king, if a simple person engages in the service of a bona fide devotee of the Lord and thus learns how to dedicate his life unto the lotus feet of Krishna, he can be completely purified. One cannot be purified merely by undergoing austerity, penance, brahmacharya, and the other methods of atonement I've previously described.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. One thing is that what I was thinking about is that Prahlad Maharaj, he has like 3 or 4 different places in the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj, in the 9th chapter of the 7th canto, where he talks about being Bhritya, being a servant of a servant. It comes up on multiple occasions. Throughout his prayers, it's just interlaced. Just allow me to be the servant of your devotee. Allow me to be the servant of your devotee. Actually, one realization I've had with serving Madhavendra Puri Prabhu over the past couple of months, when I was there in May and then when I was just here, then is actually the service of a Vaishnava who's on a very high level of consciousness is like the fruit of our practice. To be able to be given that opportunity to be able to serve them and then do it in the right consciousness. It's one thing to get the opportunity to but be able to continue doing it in the right consciousness is really the fruit of our Krishna consciousness, because that service is more dear to Krishna than anything else. To be able to serve the Vaishnavas submissively and humbly. Hare Krishna. Vijay Prabhu, anything? No?
Thank you.
Satisfied? Okay. Vanchakalpatru
Thank you for joining Satvat Prabhu. Have a wonderful Krishna conscious day. Hopefully